Scorpio, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your shift reading for the month of April. So we're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into this month, and what that shape shift looks and feels like for you. So before we get into cards here, Scorpio, I want to share what came through as I was sitting with your energy. I got this image. It was more like a felt experience of turning off the television. Sort of an old school, sort of like an 80s, like when you turned off the TV in the 80s, the way it would sort of, I don't actually know how the electronics work, but you know how the energy would sort of concentrate in the middle and then like, shoo, that like white, pew, and then it would go to black. And it was almost like you heard the static, like, I hope I'm speaking to people who know what I'm talking about. But there used to be this like palpable shift when you turned off the TV where it was like, pew! And then everything sort of faded to silence in the visualization. It was like you turned it off, and it was interesting because I asked, I was like, change the channel? And they were like, no. Turn it off. Turn off the channel, turn off the TV, like turn it off. And it's interesting because a television is like a portal. You know, it's like this box. It's funny because I'm staring into something similar right now, this camera. I'm like, it's like this window into an external input, a media input, you know, an entertainment input, movies, shows, news, all of these inputs that come through the portal of the television. And I specifically asked, change the channel? And they were like, no, turn it off. And then it was like, pew. But the sensory experience of it was like sitting in the silence and like the black screen, the dark screen that was then left after it was turned off, and this feeling of now what? Well, then now what do I do? Or now what? And I asked that question, and then I heard, go play, go outside and play. And it's almost like the energy of a parent turning off the TV for the kid, and the kid's like, well, no, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, what do you mean, what are you supposed to do? Go outside. You know, like go play. And listen, okay, this is a metaphor that I'm speaking in. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I am not recommending that you like go play with your friends. That is not what I'm saying. I am right there with the CDC taking this very seriously, saying social distance for the love of God. But metaphorically speaking, energetically, there's something that some sort of input that you are turning off, the channel's turning off, so that you can go live your life. Like a physical, felt experience of life rather than living through this other thing. Rather than living this, like watching other fictional characters live their life. That's what a TV is sort of showing me, watching other fictional characters living their life. No, it's like go experience it. Go live, be in your felt experience of your life, even if that felt experience is rather limited at this time due to the pandemic. This is interesting because before I get into cards, I swear we're going to do it real soon. The energy that came out for you, so a couple of videos back, if you haven't already looked, go check it out. I did a collective reading for the global pandemic, and the section focusing on Scorpio energy, the guide that came out of the Mary L Tarot is this beautiful Queen of Wands. And I felt that this was you rising into the fullness of your power to hold space and care for others in this time, but in the energy of fire, which is like ferocity, like fiercely nurturing others. It could even be like tough love. And that's actually the energy that I felt maybe the universe offering to you, or maybe you offering to someone else, a child perhaps. That's the nurturance, the medicine that's coming through right now is like, nurture yourself and your like physical experience of being in your body, since the body is so prominently featured here. Be with what you can tangibly hold. And again, I'm not recommending that you touch others necessarily at this time. Again, social isolation. But it's like, be in your tangible felt experience of what it means to be human, and turn off the stuff that takes you out of that. Okay. All right, let's go to the Spolia Tarot. Spolia Tarot, specifically asking for Scorpio during the month of April 2020. What is the shape shift? What is the shift for you in April, Scorpio? What is the shape that Scorpio is shifting out of in the month of April? Almost. Interesting. We got a lot of cards wanting to pop out. What is... Okay, we got two. Interesting. They both came out reversed, but I'm going to show you them upright. The Chariot and the Ten of Cups. Essentially, very simply, the vehicle that moves you towards your dreams. The vehicle that moves you towards what is going to be emotionally fulfilling for you. And what we're seeing here is a double rainbow, a double promise. This is like, and this card has come out for you a lot in my previous readings, Scorpio. This is like the miracle that you are hoping to receive from the universe, God, the divine, heaven, however you conceive of this higher power. And here's the energy pulling you towards that, the vehicle that takes you towards that. And both of them coming out in reverse is telling me that there's some sort of stagnation. Something's been holding you back from that. I'm going to keep the reversal. And we're going to get more information. Okay, what is the shape Scorpio is shifting into? I'm hearing brakes squealing, which is interesting because it's like what this pandemic has done to most of our lives is like brought it to a squealing halt in certain aspects of our lives. That is. Okay, what is the shape Scorpio is shifting into in April 2020? The Hierophant. I need another card to go with the Hierophant, please, for the shape that Scorpio is shifting into. Thank you. King of Swords. Yeah, I mean, quite simply, this is a higher truth. Aligning with the higher truth. Aligning with your higher self in order to express your truth, because the King of Swords is an outward expression, whereas like the Queen is an internal knowing, the King is an outward expression of its element. And this being the element of the swords, it's talking about communication, it's talking about the truth. Ready to align with a higher sense of knowing, and also make a commitment. That's what the Hierophant means. It's like a commitment to your higher self to tell the truth. Quite simply. In order to, I think, put the gas back on and move you towards your dreams here, move you towards what's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. Whereas again, I heard the brakes squealing with the like wave of this pandemic as it hits us. There may be an opportunity for you at some time this month, Scorpio, to feel like things are back on. Something emotional. I'm not really sure physically. I don't really feel life returning back to normal. That's not my sensation of this during the month of April. But what we might be seeing here is like the emotional movement, because remember, the Chariot is ruled by Cancer energy. Cancer energy is ruled by the moon, which is like an emotional internal experience of you leveling up in the way that you need to in terms of like growth and maturity in order to move towards what's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. And that has been suspended. It looks like the brakes have been pumped on that. And then this month, it seems to be back on because you are aligning with your higher self and making this commitment to express your truth. That's kind of how I'm feeling this. So let's look at how this shift happens. What does this shape shift look like for Scorpio in April? Okay, we got the Wheel of Fortune right off the bat in reverse. Interesting, I'm getting flip the script. Sorry, I got excited. Okay, let me show you what I'm looking at. The Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter, expansion, great forces of change, flip the script, initiating change. This is, all of this energy is initiative. Every single bit of it. Look, well, maybe except the Wheel of Fortune, to be honest, because sometimes the Wheel of Fortune is forces greater than us coming in and like forcing a change or flipping the script or turning the wheel in some way that creates massive change. Like, for example, a global pandemic, okay? This is the energy of the Wheel of Fortune. And it's interesting too, because Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, they're all meeting up in Capricorn right at the moment where everything begins to pop off with COVID-19. Right at the end of Capricorn here. It's like, excuse my French, but it's a clusterfuck of really big energies all congregated together here, creating massive global change. And that is somehow, I think, the catalyst for this leap of faith with the full energy for you, Scorpio. You're being asked to take a leap of faith into the unknown. Card 0, with the faith of a child, to take a massive leap of faith that it looks like could potentially really ignite. The Page of Wands is a messenger, and I'm feeling this very much as a message because I felt like there was an expression of truth or a communication of truth that needs to happen here. Maybe like regarding a commitment. That a very passionate message, Page of Wands. You could just take it at face value. Take the leap of faith to communicate a passionate message, a message from your soul, a message that is like blazing inside of you to shout out. And there's a possibility because of this like massive fire that we're seeing around us, around the Page of Wands, that it has it contains the potential to like light up your world in this way. I'm also reading it sort of in the reverse, that like this Wheel of Fortune, being COVID-19, has come in and kind of exploded our reality. And here you are in the middle of it, like shouting your message. Taking a leap of faith to shout your message. That somehow is going to move you towards what you have asked for. Okay, Scorpio. Big reading. Before I do this, I want to point out the kind of hesitancy with the Fool. Notice how she's got a hold of her own dress and she's kind of pulling herself back and she's looking back. It's like everything else is moving her off the cliff into a leap into the unknown, a faith leap, basically, like that is aligned and connected with what your gut is trying to tell you to say. I'm not saying that you should like take a massive make an unwise move. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you feel with this kind of energy that's on the table, it's like you feel your higher self speaking to you that you need to express a truth or share a truth, that you have a message that absolutely is burning to be spoken and shared. That's the Scorpio I'm talking to. There's notice that it's like the flower is moving in that direction, but there's another part of you that's afraid and is holding your own self back. That's hesitating, that holds it's like the message with the Fool card is you're holding your own self back. You're the one. It's your hand that's holding you back. Nothing is grabbing at your coattails being like, don't. It's just you. And I'm also getting this message of like you're focusing on what's holding you back rather than forward. Just trying to see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I'm being drawn to the sun, which is not pictured here directly, but we can see the way the sun's warmth and beams are hitting you and like warming the face of this cliff and warming you. I think that's significant. Look at this. Look at this. The fires from the Page of Wands coming over and reflecting light onto the leap the Fool must take. I think that's up to you to dig into further. I think it's gonna mean something different for everybody. Okay, Scorpio, before we end this half of your reading, we are going to get one of these, as you can see there, Flowers, Plants, Botanical Tarot by Kevin J. Stanton. And with this deck, I've been using this recently to ask, we just entered spring in the middle of a complete global disaster. And so I'm asking what new growth is sprouting up through the rubble, sprouting up through the wreckage. So I'm gonna ask that for you, Scorpio. What new growth is sprouting up through the wreckage for Scorpio? The Lovers. These, I think they're, wait a second. This is not the Lovers. This is the Hierophant. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm just realizing I did the whole Libra reading before you, they got this same card of guidance. It's not the Lovers, it's the Hierophant. And weirdly, Libra, maybe I'll record an insert here for Libra. Libra got the Hierophant in their reading. So if you're Scorpio with like significant Libra energy, maybe go check out the Libra reading. But it's a very different vibe, very different reading. But there might be something in it for you because 2 of the same cards came out, Hierophant. And what I called the Lovers, interestingly, which is actually not. It's the Hierophant, and these are tea roses. And how I saw this in the Libra reading was like gaining a higher perspective, aligning with your, and I'm seeing this for you very much, aligning your earthly felt and lived tangible experience with your own higher guidance. It's like both working in alignment. Okay, Scorpio. So I'm going to take this into an extended reading now. If you were interested in diving deeper into these energies that came out with me, I would love to see you over there. We are going to use the Aquarian Tarot, and we'll use some other Oracle decks here to get further into this energy. Try to get some more specifics as to what this is really asking of you, and see if we can get some advice. So if you'd like to follow me over there, stick around. At the end of this reading, there will be a preview of that extended so that you can make sure it's resonating with you. If it is, and you'd like to view it, click the link in the description box below, and that will take you over to Patreon. Patreon is a community I've created online for folks who are interested in diving deeper into my work with me. If that sounds like you, click the link in the description, head over there, and please read the full blurb on the page on that Unseen Hands Healing Patreon homepage so that you know how the whole patronage works. And at the most affordable tier that is available, you will be able to view this extended reading. Okay, so if that sounds interesting to you, I'll see you in the extended reading. But regardless, Scorpio, thanks so much for tuning in. And also please note that I'm offering 10% off all personal readings at this time, as we're all dealing with major crisis and folks are looking for deeper personal guidance. Personal readings are 10% off for absolutely everyone at this time. So go to unseenhandshealing.com if that interests you and get in touch with me. All right, Scorpio, take extra care during this time, and I'll talk to you soon. Brings completion, brings an end to something. But what's funny about the World card is it's the very end that drops you right back off at the beginning. Once you get to the final card in the tarot, which is the World, you start back over at card 0. And funny enough, when you go from 0 to 21 and back to 0, you're not going back to square one, you're going to the next level of what it means to start at 0. You know what I mean? Like this is a cycle of maturity, of soul growth that ends when you express this message that is like deep at your core. It brings a cycle of completion for your soul, which takes you to the next level, the vehicle that takes you to the next level of your life, where you get to essentially start